Hey, what's up guys? Nils here and welcome back to another video. So unfortunately, Shellys have been fixed yesterday. And the unit is no longer of use to us. It's actually really bad now. It does quite literally no damage, especially if you have like something like that where it just does one attack and then it goes into ultimate, but it's getting locked. Plus the ultimate does no damage. The units are absolutely of no use, and a lot of you have actually asked me what other illusion units should I go with, etc. So the first thing that comes to mind is obviously Redbat, which I previously had. As I told you, Redbats were very good units even from back then when they came out. So initially Redbat had a 15 hit ultimate count, which made the unit do mad amounts of damage when the ultimate connected, and then it was like bounced down to 7 because 15 was too much. But what I want to test besides this Redbat here is actually the craft unit. So the craft unit back in Flame City used to have 12 or 13 hit count, which I am not entirely sure, and in this video we're actually gonna compare the two units and see if it's actually worth having those Indra bursts. And the reasoning behind this is, I actually talked many times about it. Like, if you have a team that has gods or ghostless in it, like your units basically desync, and when the units desync, it's kind of bad because you either have the choice to whether you just want to say, okay, the units that don't have ghostly or god or something are useless, they're just gonna be there to attack, auto-attack, or you're gonna be let those units sit out AFK and not attack and wait for your secondary units to cast their ultimates. So that is a debate, and what I want to see now is if this unit is actually decent on its ultimate Indra burst. What you can do is you can have a combination of Redbats, which are proven to be very good, and Indra bursts. So let's go ahead and have a look at the talents. That's the first thing that we want to do, is we kind of want to balance out the talents to be equal so there is no advantage there. And let me just real quick go ahead and do that. So base damage is 5, okay, that's nice. What about this one? Base damage is also 5, and we're just gonna go ahead and max out these two. Okay, these three actually. So everything on 10 here. And now we do the same for our Indra, and then we just have to go ahead and level it just enough to come into equal power levels. So we're currently at 180 billion and 110 billion. So that should give us one level, that is 120. Okay, we need a couple more levels. So let me just go ahead over here to the Fashion Empire and just open some stars. I have to turn off auto sell. Okay, that's my bad. So let's turn off auto sell here, and we go again. Now I'm afraid this is gonna level the units way too much. I don't know why, but I kind of have a feeling that this will happen. 255. Okay, it's fine. We'll do it like this. So now Indra is at 310 million, or trillion rather, and we're just gonna level the bat as well. 54. Redbat is at 610, and we just have to do this a couple of times, and I guess we will find the balance. Or I should have just like gone into a lower world. That probably would have been easier, but I think this is better because the numbers are gonna be bigger, so in a sense it's kind of better. So 480. Okay, we still need a couple of levels. Let's open like a couple more stars.
A few moments later.
After a little bit of balancing here, I actually managed to match those two in terms of levels. So 262 and 269, as you can see here, and they're both balanced out on 1.4 quad. Now, I don't know if they have the exact same damage, because it could be like 1.45 to 1.33 or whatever. Doesn't really matter, but it is pretty much amongst the same lines, right? It's not that big of a deal. So now we're gonna go ahead and teleport over to the time chamber, and we're gonna go ahead and measure them like DPS wise, and we'll see how much his ultimate hits. Now I guess we can kind of understand his ultimate damage by looking at our DPS here on the left side and how much it spikes up to when the ultimate goes through. So that would be a good indicator to see kind of how his ultimate works. And let's start with Redbutt, which we know that is already good, right? So let's go. Alright, so its average DPS is 9.35 quad, and as you saw, his ultimate's pretty much spiked up to 24 to 25 quadrillion. That's how much our DPS spiked up. And now let's have a look at Indra. Now, another thing that we should consider is that units will have a lot more attack speed, which is obviously benefiting this guy. So if his ultimate is good, it's gonna be even better on a Limitless, considering like they just attack super fast. But let's see how he does first, I guess. Alright, so this unit up to 8.9 quad, and I don't know guys, while the DPS is a little bit less, I think that this unit would translate better on ghostly units. So I think I'm gonna illusion this guy on my 2 ghostlies instead. And I don't exactly know what happened, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but for some reason, one of his ultimates ended up spiking up to 45 quad DPS. I don't know what that was. It his ultimate crit, I guess that could be an ultimate crit, but that was a lot of damage actually. Okay, there we go. There is his ultimate. 45 quad, 48 quad. I don't know what's up. I think that has to be a crit, right? This is kind of absurd if you ask me personally. So we don't have Robux actually to do a full team now, but that being said, I have enough Robux to do 1 illusionist unit, so we're gonna pull the trigger, guys, just for this one. Alright guys, the illusionist has finally succeeded. I had to try 3 times. I don't know why it didn't work at first, but there it is, our unit. And let's hop back to the time chamber, and now let's test our unit with the ghostly. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Redbutt to compare it with. I would love to have like a Redbutt here on this double blessing, but I don't have the Robux for it. So instead, we're gonna be comparing this 5E ghostly Indra burst into the 6.2E divine Kaido. So Kaido should come out on top, but let's see how much it comes out on top by. So I think we're gonna be testing with ultimate cancels just for a more accurate DPS, and I have high hopes that Indra will come out very close. Alright, so our Kaido did 52.6E, and now let's see how much Indra can do. Alright guys, there you have it. Our Indra did 50.8E, and honestly, I think if you kinda balance out the power difference between the 2 units, like if this guy was Dragon Kaido, I think he would come out on top. I actually think that he would come out on top of Kaido. Now, I would really love to test out the True Golden King against the double blessing here on a, what's it called, on a Redbutt. That's something that I would really like to see. So maybe we eventually top up some Robux and try that. But looking at this guard here, I don't think it's gonna be worth to illusionist into an Indra despite the -3 hits. I think the 10 hits is just gonna take way too long. So out of curiosity, let's go ahead and send both of the units and see how much slower the Indra is compared to the 7-hit Kaido. Okay, so it's barely any slower, as you can see here. Like, their ultimates are almost synced. It's like slightly slower, about 1.5 hit off. So Kaido is gonna do his attack now, and right after that Indra goes off, so that's completely fine, I think. In terms of attack speed, like, they're kinda synergizing it, and its ultimate goes off really well, which kinda brings us back to my main point, which I was talking about earlier on. Like, it is very important to kinda sync your units so that all of their ultimates go out and you don't miss out on any ultimates, because ultimates are a big part of your total damage, more so with limitless units with like the huge multiplier. I don't know, I think it's 80% ultimate on limitless. Let's go back and just have a look real quick, because I don't actually remember, but I guess we can just test it out real quick. Okay, so it's actually 120%. So yeah, the main takeaway from this is that you really want to try to sync up your units, and I think Indra is an amazing unit for Ghostlies. I think it does really well compared to other units, but regardless of Indra Ghostlies, I would go with Red Bats. So I've spent the entire night yesterday opening on Flame City. I've gotten one so far. So hopefully before the weekend, like within the next 2 days, we're gonna be having at least 2 more of them. That would be very good. So we're gonna be ready for weekend carries for round 20, because Shelly's guys are an absolute disappointment right now. And when I say disappointment, I really do mean disappointment. I guess we can just DPS Shelly as well real quick, just to show you guys how bad the unit actually is. I think our Indra did 50.8, so we're gonna use this second Shelly here with Ghostly. Now Ghostly obviously not the best on a Shelly, but I guess we can just have a look on the difference like between the two units. Well, surprisingly, the unit wasn't that bad. It's actually only 45.9 E, so the loss isn't that big. I honestly expected it to be a lot worse than it actually is, so it's not that bad, but it's kind of annoying to play with these units where you constantly like have to ult cancel, because I have to literally just stop it every 3 hits. So I have to stop the ultimate, and then I have to cancel him out now because he's locked, as you see here, so basically it's just AFK. So it's kind of annoying to deal with this, so I think we're just gonna slowly shift back to a Red Bat style of team. I think that's better. We're also gonna probably sacrifice this leader 3 Red Bat, because I don't feel like waiting that long to pull out all of those Red Bats. I feel like we're just wasting time there. And it's also just a single leader 3, it's not a limitless leader, so that also kind of devalues him. It's not like it's gonna be a good unit. Like, look at this, guys. Now I know that the levels are much lower, but it's kind of bad. Like, even if you level him up to 315, I don't think he can keep up. Like, this secret, for example, is 1.1E, and this is like 1.9 with a double passive. So I think that we're just gonna go ahead and sacrifice this guy as well. So technically we would need 1, 2 here, and then this is gonna be an Indra as well. Or rather, this one is going to be an Indra, and I think we're kind of good to go. I would probably like one more Red Bat for this one, but for the most part that's completely fine. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you found this video helpful. A lot of you have been asking me the question, and I think the go-to is to go with the Red Bat and this one for these ghostly units. I really think they're gonna synergize really well, and you will like see the damage output when you're like sync up every hit. But regardless of that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, make sure to click the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Take care.